Welcome back. If you're a focused learner ready to unpack some seriously complex ideas, you are in the exact right place. Today's explainer is diving deep into the author's most recent masterworks, specifically the Conscientious Narrator's Secret Torah Guide to Health and Happiness and the 3.7.26 Starting New Collation. We're going to impartially map out a highly unconventional, totally unified worldview that bridges fringe cellular physics, holistic health, and, well, a pretty unique revisionist theology. Our goal today? To understand exactly how the author connects all these dots. So let's just jump right in.
Okay, here's our roadmap. We'll start at the micro level with the electric biology model, expand outward to soil health and metabolism, then pivot into the spiritual realm to discuss the secret Torah and absolute personal responsibility. Finally, we'll see how it all comes together in what's called the ethical vegan synthesis.
Section 1. The electric biology model. We are starting at the absolute microscopic level here.
To really grasp this approach to health, we have to completely rethink water. The author argues that water in our biology actually exists in a fourth state, a kind of gel or mesophase. This gel forms what he calls exclusion zones inside our cells. And the really crucial takeaway here? These zones are driven entirely by electromagnetic charges, not your standard chemical reactions.
Looking at this model, you can see electrolytic interactions happening across the barrier. The author's electric universe framework argues that literally all biological processes, like these barrier potentials, are fundamentally electrical in nature. Because of this, he suggests that artificial electromagnetic fields, things like 5G or Wi-Fi, can actually scramble these natural cellular charges. In this view, that electrical disruption is a root cause of modern systemic disease.
So this is a massive departure from mainstream science. The official narrative tells us that cell membranes and chemical structures run the show. But this alternative electric universe framework, it says, actually, no, it's exclusion zones and electrical charges in a gel state calling the shots. That foundational shift changes literally everything else we're about to look at.
Section 2. Soil health and metabolism. Let's zoom out from cellular physics and look at the macro level, the food we eat and how our bodies process it.
There is an incredibly powerful link here between the earth and our own bodies. The author draws a hard line between sterile dirt, which is dead, stripped of minerals and pumped full of chemicals, and living soil, which is a thriving microbiome packed with organic matter, bacteria, and fungi. The argument is that just as the earth needs living soil to actually thrive, we need a living internal garden biome. You simply cannot build a healthy gut from food grown in dead dirt. It's just not going to happen.
And that brings us to human metabolism. The author points to chronically high insulin, caused by sugars, refined carbs, and constant snacking as the main culprit behind modern disease, rather than just simple calorie counts. To fix this, the protocol is pretty specific. Use intermittent fasting to naturally drop your insulin. Cut out sugars entirely, let your body finally tap into stored fat for fuel, and feed that internal gut microbiome with high-fiber, plant-based foods.
Looking at these intricate biochemical pathways, the author argues that fasting and restricting carbs essentially gets us out of our own way. It lowers insulin, clears out toxins, and corrects these massive biochemical imbalances. By stopping the flood of highly processed junk, we're basically letting our biological electricity flow without interference. Section 3. The Secret Torah Revealed. Now we are pivoting from physical health to the author's revisionist spiritual philosophy, which, as you'll see, is just as unconventional.
This text introduces this highly unorthodox concept called the secret Torah. So what exactly is it? How does the author redefine ancient religious narratives? And what does he claim is being hidden from us?
Well, he doesn't mean a literal physical scroll hidden in a cave somewhere. The author argues that the secret Torah is a fundamental truth woven into literally every text ever written, hidden right in plain sight. And the core of this truth? A total rejection of the savior concept, or any kind of vicarious sacrifice. He claims that mainstream religious narratives were intentionally corrupted by early power structures to make people lazy, to make them rely on external salvation, instead of doing the hard work themselves. He anchors this by pointing to historical warnings, like the strict accounting of as you do unto others. The author suggests original prophetic teachings were all about absolute karma. You reap exactly what you sow, period. There's no magical external figure coming to save you from your own actions. There's only the inescapable consequence of the choices you make.
Section 4. Absolute personal responsibility. This total rejection of a spiritual savior directly mirrors his rejection of the medical magic pill, bringing us to the concept of the monad. The explainer lays this out as the personal dialectic of the monad. It's essentially a mandatory and honestly pretty brutal process of shadow work. Step 1, you have to own your health and moral failures with zero excuses. Step 2, completely reject any shortcuts. No magic pills from doctors, no vicarious saviors. Step 3, you have to actually reinterpret physical and emotional pain, not as some kind of punishment, but as absolutely vital feedback telling you to change course. Only by doing all of this can you integrate your fractured psychological partitions and become truly whole.
The author throws down a pretty uncompromising challenge here. Do you actually care about your health and well-being, or are you just looking for the laziest path of least resistance? He argues that true integration, whether physical or spiritual, is literally impossible if we keep muting our body's painful feedback with junk food, distractions, or comfortable lies.
Section 5. The ethical vegan synthesis. Finally, we reach the macro level, synthesizing all these rules into one collective societal vision.
The text calls this ultimate culmination the ethical vegan charter nation. It's a proposed society acting as the active, living vehicle for this synthesis, operating in strict adherence to biological electricity and absolute karma. We're talking complete nonviolence toward all sentient beings to avoid karmic debt, implementing planned abundance Eden protocols and no-till farming to save that living soil, and perfectly aligning our internal biology with the external ecological harmony of the planet.
So, as we wrap up today's explainer, I want to leave you with the author's ultimate provocation based on this framework. If biology, ethics, and spirituality are as deeply connected as this text claims, are our modern physical diseases really just the physical manifestation of our spiritual and ethical disintegration? It's a wildly challenging framework that connects the microscopic charge of a single cell directly to our deepest moral choices. I hope this analysis helped map out this incredibly complex source material for you. Keep learning, keep questioning, and we'll catch you in the next one.